Super Bowl Sunday, guys. This is it. This is what we have all been waiting for. You are watching World of Matchups, NFL handicapping podcast coming to you guys live and direct from nice and sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of the handicap. My name is Dexter Reed, bringing you the heat, and on the other side of the glass, my A1 from day one and producer of WOM. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Spencer the Wiz. Good morning, sir.
What's going on, man? We finally made it to Super Bowl weekend. It's really crazy, man. This time has truly flown by. It is just kind of nuts right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sad too, man, because no season flies by faster than the National Football League. So, today we're going to do what we do. We're going to break the game down in its entirety. My thoughts, Spencer's thoughts. We're going to have a special guest at some point here to bring his Eagles thoughts to the table. And then we're going to let you guys roll with what you think you need to do to make some money on this game. Spencer, I will let you set this off on your thoughts on how things go tomorrow. And then at the end, I got a couple prop bets that I think I might like to hand out to the public that I think will hit. Spencer will do the same. Special guest will commiserate. And that'll be a wrap, guys. Set it off.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with a self-reflection. I think that's kind of how because we're only talking 2 years ago. It's crazy. We were both so high on the Eagles last year, and the reality of the situation is it's so hard to lose in the Super Bowl and then just go back. It's almost impossible. I mean, to get that far, to have the shortest off season, other than the winning team, but obviously a bit of a different feeling to win or lose the Super Bowl. So they kept it together, and the biggest thing that they did from that Super Bowl, and we obviously went into detail about that Super Bowl afterwards. There was a couple things that they really needed. That was the difference in that game. The reason that they did not win. Their running game was still fine. Obviously having Saquon Barkley, to say it's an improvement would obviously be a huge understatement. But obviously improved there. But why didn't they win that Super Bowl? No pass rush, right? And we have been following their draft so closely over the past couple of years. Nolan Smith, wow. I mean, crazy that he fell there. Quinion Mitchell, unbelievable that he fell to them. Jalen Carter. Those guys, I mean, could have been difference makers if you could, go back in time or take this team back to that Super Bowl. Everything that they needed in that game, I feel like they've done, and they have been aggressive in filling in those gaps. And it's just been business for them, man. I mean, the Commanders made a fool of themselves on national television. I mean, just proving how big of a gap there was between those teams.
I told you.
That Linsanity run that they had, man, it ended and crashed and burned big time.
I told you. They were going to get blown out in that game, man. I just couldn't see a way that they were going to stay in that game.
I said this about the Lions, too, that it was all business for them, and they kind of proved that they were doing business elsewhere. But for this Eagles squad, this is like the most professional playoff run I think I have ever seen, in my life. It is just they already know how these games are going to play out almost. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case for this Chiefs game. No team on either side is going to blow each other out. I mean, I would be genuinely shocked. It's going to be close like the last Super Bowl was, and it's just going to come down to those few plays. I mean, for me, obviously, the key player, and I'll talk about my favorite prop bets too, but it's Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, nobody, and I mean absolutely no. You can go back to halfway through the year, right? When they started to focus on the run again, no one stopped Saquon Barkley other than himself. He has to slide. He's punching himself in the head. I mean, you just don't see these kinds of plays from players very often where the guy just looks like, he's a step above just anyone else that is touching the field. Of course, the Chiefs are going to key in on that. They're going to stack the box, but I really think that they are going to find a way to just dominate the ground game here. I mean, when it comes to the Eagles, the ideal scenario for them going into the fourth quarter would be like a 20-10 lead, something like that. They want to have that 2-score lead. Now, obviously, is that something the Chiefs can overcome very easily? Of course, they've done it so many times, but this is what they've built their team for. A 10-point lead, going into the fourth quarter. Maybe they have the first possession in that quarter, and they're going to try to get 6 minutes off the clock and just say, hey, this is how you're going to have to beat us. And they did last time, but I just feel personally like they have a lot more of the tools necessary to win that game that they lost last time. This is like the same team to me, but just improved and has a little injection of youth. I expect to have a big game out of guys like Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. You know, I've heard that Quinion Mitchell and a few other guys are sick right now, but they're going to use every modern drug humanly possible. I mean, these guys won't even be able to feel their bodies, I'm sure, by the time.
Everybody's playing. Everyone's
modern
playing.
Science makes leaps during the Super Bowl. I'm convinced of that.
Of course.
Experimental drugs. It doesn't matter, stuff that the public doesn't get access to.
Everybody is suiting up. Everyone.
Yeah, everybody. Everyone. It's the Super Bowl. So, sickness or not, man, I just think these guys are prepared. This is what they've been preparing for 2 years now. And they never looked too forward ahead, too, man. That's always one of the biggest downfalls of some of these teams where it's like, we're in the Super Bowl already, and then suddenly you lose. Every week has just been, plain business for these guys. And this is it, man. This is what they circled their calendars for. Mm-hmm. This is what they've been working for. This is why they got Saquon Barkley. This is why they made all those draft picks. They've been playing it smart. Don't pass the ball too much. You don't need to, You can make fun of Jalen Hurts' stats every week if you want, but suddenly there's only one game left for them to win. So clearly the way that they're playing football has been working for them. Mm-hmm. For the Chiefs, kind of the same thing, man. It's just business per usual. They just make the plays when they need to. You open up the playbook just enough, man. You know what? The only thing that matters when the clock hits 0 is that you have more points than the other team. And that's how the Chiefs play, Make a play here, a special teams play there, whatever the case may be, whatever they need it from, whoever they need it to, they're prepared for every scenario. They have contingencies for almost any situation in football. So if there is, and this obviously stems back to the last Super Bowl too, there's an advantage over anything other than the quarterback position. Obviously, it's coaching, and Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, I think the Eagles roster is better. The only reason that the Eagles would lose the Super Bowl, considering that, in my opinion, again, that they've done everything they needed to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in this game, would be some dumb decision from Nick Sirianni, man. I mean, he would do that. Mm-hmm. Going forward, when he doesn't need to. If I'm the Eagles, man, and I get any opportunity to kick a field goal, I'm doing it. I mean, how many Chiefs games have come down to 2 points here or there? You know what I mean? So if I'm him, you just do the smart thing every single time. Don't go for it on 4th and 5. You can pin them, or you get the field goal. Any points are good points against the Kansas City Chiefs because they fight and claw their way to any sort of win. And I think that's the key to victory for them. Don't beat yourselves because you have the team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and stop them. You just got to do the right thing, man. Don't get too big for your britches just because it's the Super Bowl. Play the way that you've been playing all year long, and that's how you guys can win this game. So those are some of my main thoughts for this game.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you've said, man. I mean, because we won so much money on the Eagles a couple years ago down the stretch, because we saw so many flaws in their defense, I kind of feel like they're one of the teams that you and I have watched closely for a while, you know what I mean? And then we do the draft show and we're just asking ourselves, how does Quinion Mitchell fall? How does Jalen Carter fall? How is Nolan Smith there? I like Howie Roseman, guys. I do. I think him and Brett Veach are the two best GMs in the National Football League. I think a lot of their drafts the last couple of years really comes down to how much ineptitude there was on behalf of the other GMs in the National Football League, letting this kind of talent fall to the Eagles. I mean, you can't be mad at them. The guys there, they're going to take them. I'm not saying it's luck. I'm just saying some of these other teams right now wish they had Jalen Carter.
That's for sure.
They wish they had Quinion Mitchell. It just doesn't make any sense. But those guys are wearing the Kelly green right now, and I do think that they are built to beat the Chiefs. I do. I have not felt good about this Super Bowl like I felt last year. Last year I felt very confident, after all the Chiefs overcame to go on the road and beat the Bills and the Ravens. I felt very confident that they were going to beat the 49ers. I absolutely did. This year, I don't have that same level of confidence. I still am picking the Chiefs minus the 1.5, but I'm only doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that's Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Patrick Mahomes. That will be the only reason to me why I'm going to take the Chiefs and put money on them, is that I just will not bet against Patrick Mahomes. I don't care. The 85 Bears could be out there tomorrow. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. Until that man costs me money on a Super Bowl field, I'm not going to bet against him. Chief fan, non-Chief fan, I'm just not doing it. Now, on the Eagles side of the ball, they are built. They're going to try to run the ball. They're going to try to run it with a lot of confidence. Saquon is going to have a huge game, is what they're trying to promote. Control the clock, keep Mahomes on the sidelines, and then win the game by 7 to 10 points. If you're the Eagles, that's what you're trying to do. Now, my question to everybody is what happens if that doesn't come to fruition? What's their alternative way to win this game? Because I'm not sure they have one. Saquon Barkley has had 6 runs this year of 60-plus yards for touchdowns, and he's had, I think, another 2 that were 50-yarders. That's insane. That's Barry Sanders. But what a lot of people don't know is that Saquon Barkley has also had 77 plays this year that were negative or 0 yards. 77. We're not asking the Chiefs to stop Saquon Barkley here. We're asking them to slow him down. Just don't give up huge touchdowns. In the last 6 seasons, the Chiefs have given up 6 of those touchdowns. In 6 calendar NFL seasons, guys, they're a bend and don't break defense. They're going to slow him down. Is he going to eat? He's going to eat, just like McCaffrey ate last year. Dude, guys make plays. But my question to Philadelphia is, if he's not going crazy like he does versus the Rams and the Commanders, what are you going to do? I think the Chiefs are going to stack the box, just like you said, and they're going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. And I'm fine with that. And if he beats them that way, I can live with that. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I do. I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to three-peat behind Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo, simply because they have the better coaching. Off bye weeks, these guys are house money. I think that the three-peat thing is real. It's real, man, and there's a lot of intangibles. I mean, we laugh because of Taylor Swift being in the house. Dude, they don't lose when she's there. President Trump will be there. Messi will be there. These are all guys that, like Kelsey, Mahomes, they all look up to these guys, man. They're going to want to show out. They're going to bring everything they have. And you know that Andy Reid holds back plays. Spagnuolo holds back looks. This is where it's all going to come out. I mean, I see what everyone is saying about the bigger, stronger team, about the D-line trying to maul Kansas City, and Kansas City's offensive line is kind of a patchwork. You know, you got Joe Tooney kicked out at LT. Will they be able to handle the Eagles? All these things are true, and they're all valid, and they're all legitimate. But this is not just anyone. Guys, this is playoff Pat. And the Chiefs don't care how they win. They just care about winning. They'll win this game by 1 point, and to them, it'll be like they won it by 100 points. Dude, they don't care about that. They just want to cross the finish line first, and I think they will. I think they will, man. I don't know how. I don't know why. I just know that they will. This is the type of games that the Chiefs win. I'm shocked they're favored, Spencer. I really am. I'm shocked they're favored. But the 1.5 points is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I'm not scared to lay it. I'm just not as confident. I just wish I was, but I'm just not as confident. You know, I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm not saying any of that. I just wish I felt more confident. Versus Buffalo, I sat here and I told all of you, I'm like, the Chiefs are not losing this game in their building. There's just no way. The Bills aren't beat to beat the Chiefs. They don't have the defense for it. You guys all laughed at me, and everyone told me how Buffalo's going to take Kansas City down. Dude, it's not happening. It's not going to happen until they build a defense. The Eagles have a defense. The Eagles have a running game. The only thing the Eagles don't have is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And like you said, I think Nick Sirianni could blow this. And I think Jake Elliott could blow this. If the Eagles have to line up and kick a 51-yarder to win this game, they are going home. They're going home, dude. Jake Elliott has been horrible. Horrible. Conversely, if Butker has to line up and kick that, I'm already lighting my cigar, dude. Dude, Harrison Butker is built for these moments. And I think that's a huge advantage, especially indoors in a dome. Patrick Mahomes is 8-0 versus Vic Fangio. He's 15-0 in domes. I mean, do these streaks have to come to an end at some point? Yeah, man, they do. But I just think history is ready to be made here. I don't think into this modern day NFL with the way that Goodell wants the calls to go and the way you can't touch the quarterback and the way it's just such an offensive minded game that you'll ever see a team have an opportunity to three-peat again. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And so I'm taking Kansas City here in a nail-biter to win at the end by the gun. I literally think it could go overtime. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think it's going to be, man. I do. And I think that it's not going to have as much juice as the first one. 38-35 is not happening. I'd be shocked.
No, I like the under. I like the under in this game.
You like the under? I like the over. I do think there's going to be points scored, Spencer. 49, it's a lot. But these playbooks are going to be wide open. I mean, this is the Andy Reid special here. This is everything that we've been waiting all year. This is the 4th and 1, Patrick Mahomes scramble that you never, ever see. You know what I mean? Here comes the end around flea flicker that you never, you've just been waiting all year. Here comes the 90-yard bomb that we've gotten, this is what you're going to see in this game. And I think that Nick Sirianni is going to do some of the same. I think Sirianni watched what the Niners kind of did last year and how they played the Chiefs early on. And, that was a crazy play that hit for them. And they're going to try to confuse Kansas City. If they're like literally going out first series, second series, and they're not really drumming much up, they're gonna try to get creative and go at Kansas City. I mean, that's going to be plan A is going to be try to maul us up front. That's plan A. That's Saquon left, Saquon right, Hurts left, Hurts right, tush push. But if they're not finding a lot of success with that, they're going to get creative because they have those wideouts that can do it. I like a lot of these ancillary pieces. I do. I like the Dallas Goddards in this game. I like the DeAndre Hopkins in this game. I like the Hollywood Browns in this game. I like the B-rate, C-rate players. I think they're going to try to take Kelsey away. I think they're going to try to take Saquon away. I think they're going to try to take Hurts away. I think they're going to try to take Mahomes away. And someone's going to have to step up and make a play. I could see 28-24 final, 27-24 final, just goes over. Mahomes wins another Super Bowl MVP. Do we have a guest in the queue yet?
Not yet, but we can go over some prop bets if you like. I have a few in mind.
Fire out.
So I got 3 that I like. I like to go out on a limb when I go my prop bets. I won that Jaden Daniels offensive rookie of the year, by the way. That was great, man.
Nice.
I like 5 times my money that I put in at the time. I did it early, like literally right after the draft. So I'm going to do some flyers here. I think one of them is going to hit, and it's going to give me a little bit of money on top. I don't know which one of these is going to hit, but I like it. I like Saquon Barkley 200+ rushing yards. I think
crazy.
There's a chance that he goes bananas. And
not a chance, bro.
Guys, you get above plus 1,000 on that one.
You guys listening to Spencer right now, don't do that. Don't do that.
I've hit on some crazy prop bets.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not giving up 200 yards rushing, guys. Don't do that. I'm sorry. It's guys.
If it
They
hits, it's gonna be
don't
crazy.
give up long touches. They don't give up long. They do not give up long rushes. They don't. Guys, they don't.
They said the same thing about the Commanders too,
Yeah, the
man.
Chiefs are not the Commanders, bro. You have to stop this. You just stop.
I love that one.
We might
I
have
love
to
it.
end that. We might have to end the production. Guys, listen to me. The Chiefs do not give up long. I have been watching Kansas City Chiefs football my entire life. They do not give up these long runs during this dynasty. They give up. They get eaten on the ground. They bend and don't break. But 200 rushing yards, guys, come on. That's disrespectful.
Here's another
They
one.
have great run D. You're nuts.
Saquon Barkley to throw a touchdown. Love that one, man. I think that a little pitch. I'm looking, dude. I can look. I'm looking at the play right now in my mind. They do a little pitch in the goal line to the right. It looks like he's going to run. Suddenly he stops, and you see a tight end wide open. I could see that happening.
I could see that. I could see that creativity come in if they're not.
There's going to be a swarm of players after him. So if he just like plants his feet and he looks up, man, I think there's going to be someone open. So
Yeah.
I like that one. And the last one that I like Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception. He's done it, I think, in every Super Bowl he's been in. So
Yeah.
I could just. It just happens. So far, it's happened, and I could easily see it happening again. So at any point in the game, throws an interception. I like that one.
I think this is where we see Patrick Mahomes have a complete game for the first time in his Super Bowl career. He's not played great in Super Bowls and somehow managed to win Super Bowl MVPs. I mean, I think Damian Williams should have been MVP the first time they won in 2019, 2020. But the last two, I will concede that he won. Last year and versus the Eagles the first time, he looked fantastic in the second half. But I think this is the year where he plays really well start to finish, man. I don't know. He hasn't turned the ball over in a long time, man. It's been like a long, long time. I mean, he just hasn't turned the ball over. They've really protected the ball well. The pass protection up front has to be the difference for Patrick Mahomes. That literally is the key to them winning this game is max protect. You cannot go without 12 personnel most of the time. These guys are coming, man. They're coming. I kind of have a bad feeling about the whole Tampa Super Bowl and how this could look similar if they don't prioritize 12 and 13 personnel for Patrick Mahomes. And I don't want to see Mahomes running around. Not till the fourth quarter, or unless we're in the red zone. I just don't want to see that. You know what I mean? I want you to play Kansas City Chief football and do what you do. And I think he's going to come out sharp. Could he throw a pick? Yeah, I mean, picks happen, man. A lot of these picks in these big-time games, it's not really the quarterback's fault a lot of the times. Guy runs the wrong route. All of a sudden, something goes wrong. You know what I mean? So I do like Patrick Mahomes to hold up here. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like whatever his hovers are. They have literally brought this guy to Kansas City, and he's done nothing. I mean, it's time. It's time. Guys like him, guys like Kareem Hunt, I want all their overs, guys. Because if the Chiefs have a shot at winning this game, it's going to be because of guys like Hopkins. It's going to be because of guys like Hunt, guys who are dying for their first Super Bowl, guys who have never played in a Super Bowl, guys who know they will never again have an opportunity to play in a Super Bowl. This is it. This is it. So I like all their overs. I like this one, man, and this is going to pay out big. I like George Karlaftis, 2 sacks. 2 sacks, 2 or less. Two or more. George Karlaftis is going to eat because they're going to do everything they can to stop Chris Jones, and they're going to do everything they can to stop Travis Kelce in this game. They're going to do everything they can to stop these 2 players, and they're going to make someone else beat them. And so I really like those. From the Philadelphia Eagles side, I like whatever Dallas Goedert has going on, I like it all. I just love what he's going to be able to do because the Chiefs do not play tight ends well. They just don't, and everyone knows it. Why didn't the Buffalo Bills install more packages for tight ends? They could have won that game. I just don't get it. And I think that with the time off, the Eagles realize this, man. That's it, literally, if they have one weakness on the Chiefs, is that they don't play tight ends well, man. So I like Dallas Goedert to have a big game, big game. Whatever his overs are, catches, total yards. I would even throw in anytime tutty for Dallas Goedert. I would, because Trent McDuffie's going to really be on AJ Brown, and AJ Brown hasn't really done much this entire. He hasn't had an AJ Brown type year. You know what I mean? And Slim Reaper, he'll eat too. I like his overs, but Goddard's somebody that I really feel strongly about could have a really big day here. And if you're like literally, these aren't really dart throw player props, guys. They're legitimate, but they're not going to be like the big dogs that everyone's going to be like, yeah, Jalen Hurts, two tush push tutties and 200 yards. And you know what I mean? I kind of like in this Super Bowl, the ancillary players, the B-rate players. I think these guys will cash you. I think these guys will cash you tomorrow. Do we have a special guest? Bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the stage former donor, supporter, and lover of World of Matchups. Ladies and gentlemen, Philadelphia Eagle fan, AG Magic. Welcome to the show, bro. What's up?
Let's go. Thanks for having me, man.
So,
So pumped.
you should feel pumped right now. You are in your second Super Bowl in the last 3 years. Tell us how you're feeling right now. Tell us how the Eagles are going to win this game, what they have to do, and let us know who your player props are. Philadelphia, stand up and pay this man his respects.
Well, I woke up with a knot in my stomach this morning, as I've had all week long, thinking about how we're going to stop Mahomes and how we're going to game plan to stop Mahomes. Because in most statistical categories, Philadelphia is just a better team. I mean, they're better on defense, they're better at a lot of the skill positions. Obviously, the most important skill position that we're not better at is quarterback. And Mahomes can beat any defense. And I think Vic Fangio really needs to come up with the best game plan of his career to try to limit and slow down the Chiefs' offense. I mean, their offense is so methodical going down the field. They're not really a big play, big threat kind of offense, but Patrick Mahomes' football IQ is just off the charts. I mean, personally, I think it's better than Tom Brady's at the same point in their respective careers. And we really need to buckle down and focus on how to stop those short passes. Us losing to Kobe Dean was a big loss. Zach Bond has stepped up brilliantly for us. We've had some fillers come in and do a pretty good job. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he will be on the field. That does concern me a little bit. They attacked him quite a few times, and they were able to kind of trick this guy and scheme some people open. So that's a weakness I'm worried about. But ultimately, you know, the last Super Bowl we played, it was a high scoring affair. Eagles had the top ranked defense. You guys were a little better on offense. This year, you guys have regressed a little bit on offense, and we've gone off the charts on defense. And still, I Mahomes is just. I know he's going to try to find a way to win this game, and he's more than capable of doing it. What we need to do is we have to limit these short, intermediate passes, these drag routes, these quick slants. Mahomes is going to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and our linebackers and some of our DEs that we're going to have to disguise a lot of these cover twos and nickel plays, and we're going to have to play a lot of disguise, drop some of these guys back, and take away their short plays. And I think if we do that successfully, we will have a chance to keep it close and ultimately come out victorious.
Yeah, and you're one of the more, I'm not going to say sane Eagle fans, because there are a lot of you guys that, give the Chiefs and Mahomes the respect he deserves. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that are thinking that the Eagles are going to just run this team over. I don't know how you could even consider that based on the body of work that this dynasty has put in the last 5 years. I think that this is going to be a real close one. I literally think that whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game. And I could see it being a 1-point victory either way. I was just telling Spencer that the one area that I would be really concerned if I was the Eagles is Jake Elliott. If Jake Elliott has to line up and kick a 51-yarder to win this game,
We're done.
just go back to
We're,
Philadelphia. Go back home. Just
yeah.
go home, dude.
It-
You know what I mean? Conversely, if Harrison Butker has to line up to kick a 51-yarder, I literally will clip and light my cigar.
Well, Butker is looks like he's close to being fully healthy. Jake Elliott, I don't know if it's a mental thing. He's been in his head all year long. He didn't really have any major injuries to slow him down. He has just mightily struggled. And for a kicker that we've been able to rely on since we've drafted him, I mean, this guy has been clutch for us up until this year. I believe there's a stat out there that he did not make one field goal over 51 yards all season long. I mean, that is terrible
That's
for a guy
horrible.
who's made the Pro Bowl for, on a team like this, going into a game like this where it's most likely going to be a one-score game. And like you said, if it comes down to kicking a field goal to win the game, I'm not feeling so confident. And besides the one-score game, even if we were going into the fourth quarter up 10, let's say, I still would not be celebrating it in confidence because Mahomes, I mean, this guy excels, and the numbers that this guy has put up when he is trailing going into the fourth quarter, especially with 2 minutes or less left in the game, has some crazy, unbelievable stats. I believe he was 7 for 7. He was literally perfect when coming back when he was trailing with 2 minutes or less in a game, within a one-score game.
Yep.
So the closest quarterback near him was Drew Brees. He was 4 for 9. 4 for 9. So that tells you the difference in stats here. I mean, being perfect in comebacks with less than 2 minutes, like it makes you nervous. So you're playing, one of the best generational talents of our time, and Philadelphia is going to have to play a picture perfect game. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are going to have to absolutely dominate that line from start to finish. And, we are going to need to cover that field, that the middle of that field to have a chance. I think this is going to be, I know Spags is going to scheme and try to limit Saquon Barkley as best as he can. I do believe this is going to be a Jalen Hurts type of game. For player props, I do like the over on Jalen Hurts passing yards. I think also A.J. Brown is going to have at least over 80 yards in the touchdown. And look for Dallas Goddard. And don't be surprised if Jahan Dotson catches a few balls here. We have not used him, uh, gosh, barely. I mean, I think he's got a couple catches. I think he has one catch the entire postseason. But this guy can make some plays. And
He's a good player.
he's more than capable of making some plays. And he is going, Nick Sirianni and them, they've got something up their sleeves as well. Andy Reid and Sirianni, they're familiar with each other. I know Andy Reid has kicked our butts. We finally beat Andy Reid since he left Philadelphia for the first time last year, 21-17, and we basically got kind of lucky shutting you guys out in the second half. And that's the only time we've ever beaten you guys.
MVS dropped that pass. You guys would have lost that game too.
Yeah, exactly. It was
MVS dropped that ball, dude, and we were dominating you the first half. That's why I should feel better about this game. I really should feel better. I don't feel good about this game. I think with Mahomes can do it. I think the three-peat will pull them ahead. I mean, you guys laugh, but I think like Trump being there, you know what I mean, Swift being there, Messi being there, like I think these things will really help the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm not as confident about this as I was versus the Niners. Spencer, real quick, if there's one player tomorrow, Spence, that is not going to who's going to be someone that no one really would think is going to make a play to decide the outcome of this game on either side, who do you think it is?
I think it could come down to the Slim Reaper. I mean, has he not just been kind of silent forever? It's like it's almost easy to forget that he's like not even on the team anymore. And
Yeah.
he's easily someone who would be wide receiver 1 on like so many different teams.
20 teams.
Oh
Yeah, why can't this guy make a 50-yard touchdown pass just out of nowhere? Be like, oh yeah, Devontae Smith does play for the Eagles. He'd easily. I haven't heard his name. I feel like in forever. It's just because obviously Saquon Barkley's been so good, but this is the Super Bowl. This is where the guys like get MVP, like NFL MVPs, and you just kind of forget that they're on the team or just someone that no one expects, right? No one is going to put a slip on this guy to win, Super Bowl MVP, and he could probably make easily because of the talent, the biggest play of the game, and win the Eagles a Super Bowl easily.
Guy's a Heisman. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He literally is starting on 20 other teams. He's wide receiver 1. The guy is a monster, and I'm worried about him tomorrow. I'm worried about him more than I'm worried about AJ Brown. My sneaky player for the Super Bowl is Noah Gray. They are going to do everything they can imaginable to take Travis Kelce out of this game. But what you guys need to understand is that Noah Gray is more than capable. Noah Gray has the trust of Patrick Mahomes. Noah Gray may not run the same routes, but he likes the middle of the field, and he scores touchdowns. He scores tutties, man, and he's going to be asked to chip. He's going to be asked to stay in and break off Jalen Carter a little bit. I think literally he could be an X factor that could win Kansas City this game. Who's your guy, Alex?
Yeah. I think a guy that's really gonna make a difference. I mean, it might not be the sexiest pick, but I think Cooper DeJean here. I think he is going to follow.
A good player.
He's going to fall most likely try to cover both tight ends, given what you guys are drawing up on offense. And I think they're going to assign Cooper DeJean to try to take away the tight ends because, we have a feeling Mahomes is going to be looking for both of them. And, if Cooper DeJean can do what he's been doing all year and take away those threats, we'll have a real shot. So I like Cooper DeJean here to have a big game, a couple pass deflections, possibly even a turnover.
Final score prediction, Spencer. Let's hear it.
2017 for me.
Eagles?
Eagles.
I'm going to go 27-24 Kansas City. I think the Eagles dominate early as all these teams have versus Kansas City. I do think if the Chiefs get the ball first, they defer and then find a way coming out at halftime to just be a different team like they always do. And they're going to find their way 24-24 with a minute and a half left. And just like Alex's worst nightmare is going to come true, Mahomes is going to find his way to go down the field like they always do. And Harrison Butker kicks a 58-yard field goal in the Superdome to put this team into the three-peat and shock the world.
All right, my prediction is going to be the Eagles 31, the Chiefs 27, and I'm projecting to see it end in a matter to which Mahomes is going to have the ball with a minute and a half left driving down the field, and we're going to stop them goal to go and take this Lombardi trophy home.
Eagles
and end this freaking dynasty.
Eagles MVP will be?
That's a good question. I'm going to stick with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is going to win a Super Bowl MVP. I think this game is going to be put on his shoulders, and I think he's going to play extremely well, and he's going to take this thing home if we can get the victory.
Yeah, obviously for me it's going to be Mahomes because to me Mahomes is, God. He's a football god, and if they win, it's going to be because of him. But alternative MVP for Kansas City, guys. Don't sleep on what Steve Spagnuolo is about to cook up. Steve Spagnuolo is going to go into the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. Guys, think about that for a second. Let that marinate.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. He's going to come with something that you guys have not seen before. You're not going to be ready for it. I mean, look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen snapped the ball and was on the ground within 2 seconds on that 4th and 5. He had no idea what was coming. This is what Spags does, and I think that is going to be something that you could potentially see happen that will stop a drive for the Eagles that could potentially win this game for Kansas City. Who's your MVP, Spence?
I think I'll just go with Saquon Barkley. I mean, I'm putting all my chips
You
in the middle.
you
for
think
these
the
big
guy's going to
rushing
have
yards.
500 yards rushing? So
200, just 200.
Listen to me, guys. Do not put that bet down. A good friend of mine that comes into the restaurant that I've met every year, these guys come for the Super Bowl. He won $20,120 yesterday playing video poker. He says he's putting all of it on Kansas City.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, I'm retired. I didn't have it to begin with. If I win it, I win it, and if not, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out Nick Nanopoulos from Pennsylvania. Yeah, crazy.
I mean, it tells you, it's the statistics, everything on paper and what you've seen tells you, the Eagles should win this game and should
Easily.
win this game comfortably.
Easily.
And right.
Comfortably.
I mean, all
10-point win.
That's what I mean. That's how I feel it should go down, But
This
with
is
our
not
offensive line, I mean, we've got the biggest offensive line in the league. I think our average weight on our offensive line is like 266 pounds, 6 feet 6 inches. It's the biggest offensive line in the league. It's one of the best constructed offensive line group, like literally that we've seen in decades. I mean, this offensive line is opening up huge gaps for the running backs. They're excel in pass protection. I mean, this is why Jalen Hurts gets too comfortable back there and holds on to the ball still for so long, because he trusts his O-line so much that he thinks he has all day to throw. And in most cases, that's true. But he puts too much pressure on his O-line.
Not this week.
Yeah, I mean, I know this, and he struggles against the blitz, and I have a feeling Spags is gonna blitz a lot. And
he literally is a completely different player against the blitz. He is not he's not even average. He's not even average.
He was on the bottom of the list in most statistical
categories. He is not even an average quarterback versus the blitz. And what does Kansas City like to do? This is what I'm saying, Spencer. I'm telling you, man, Spags he's cooking something up, man. The hot pot's going, the stove is on, the seasonings, dude. They know that. Jalen Hurts versus pressure is he's not even an average quarterback. That's how you beat the Eagles, with defense. And I think it happens here. Parting shot, Spence.
Should be a great game. This is probably the best matchup I think that we could have gotten all year. I mean, for a three-peat, you're playing somebody who you've already played in the Super Bowl. There's just so many great storylines going into it. So I can't wait, man. It's just a fun day too. It's like in America, it's a holiday. I get to spend the day with my family too. So it's the greatest sport in the world, no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. It's a sad day too, because now we have this hiatus, but it is what it is, man. Draft season is coming.
I got 30 players on my list already. I've scouted, man. I love the draft. I cannot wait to get started on
draft season's coming. I got to get past this Super Bowl. Either joy or heartbreak. It's going to take me a couple weeks before I can pull myself back together if I don't pull this one together. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It should be a good day. Food, friends, fun. We're going to let Alex go here, but before we do, I want to give you an opportunity to plug your business, bro. We've been trying to get you on for a couple weeks. I mean, I know football season is ending, but I know you do roll with all major sports. So, AG Magic is one of the best handicappers I've ever seen, guys. I'm not just glazing him because he's my buddy. I've lost a little bit here or there, but I made quite a bit of money off a lot of his picks, and a lot of times I'll be adamant about something, and he'll be like, no, dude, trust me on this. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way you want to go. And then, like, halfway through the game, I'm like, wow, he was not only right, he was really right. And so go ahead and plug your business, man. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you being a supporter of WOM from day one. Yeah. Alex is a day one. AG Magic is a day one. Tell the people what you're working with. Give them the phone number. Let's make some money here.
Yeah, thank you. I've got the NBA package starting to come up, and I'll put an ad out for that and put my number out here. But, for me, picking these games goes a lot deeper than just, who's got the better quarterback and the better receivers. I really delve deep into these games, and I look at every single aspect. I look at weather. I look at game plans, matchups, histories of these teams, what kind of beefs are going on, and on the strategy that I've cooked up has worked very, very well for me. And I've been hitting at 78% plus clip. And, you compare that to the nation of handicappers, and that's up there. I mean, that is a top 20 clip. I've got all my wins and losses documented. As you know, Dex, I'm always posting my wins and my losses, letting people know that, you don't win them all. But if you stick with the strategy that I'm putting out there and you just follow my lead, I guarantee you will make money every week. So if you are looking for an additional stream of income, anywhere between 500 and 2,000 and possibly even more, it depends on how much you want to start with. That is very possible. That's what I've been doing here the past 6 months. And NBA season is up next, so I solely focus on NFL and NBA. NFL is my number one sport, but NBA I'm pretty damn good too. So if you're interested, we could set something up where I'll give you the first few picks for free, just to give you a little taste, give you a little insight on the strategies that I'll provide for you. And you like what you see, and then we can do. I've got packages ranging from $100 to where you can buy the whole season for $9.99. So there'll be a discount code as well, since I appreciate you inviting me here on World of Matchups. So I'll do 20% off to anyone who calls me before the start of the Super Bowl. So you can reach me at 702-786-4553 anytime. Send me a text, and I'll plug my email in as well. It's theganemgroup@gmail.com. The Ganem Group. So TheGhanem group, GROUP @gmail.com. And I'm looking forward to getting a lot of you signed up and making you some money.
And make sure you mention World of Matchups. If you mention that you came from the show, dude, it's all gravy. Believe me when I tell you. And I'm not just, like I said earlier, I'm not just glazing this guy, man. I've seen these receipts. We're talking thousands of dollars, guys. And I'm not like a baller, you know what I mean? I put a little bit here, a little bit there. AG Magic is next level. Bro, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck to your Eagles, man. It's all love amongst friends, man. We'll talk about putting a little wager on it, and I'll see you on Monday night when we kick it and talk wins and losses. God bless you, your family, and best of luck tomorrow.
God bless. Likewise. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on. Spencer, it's been a pleasure doing this with you, man. It really has been. It's sad that it has to come to an end, but it's not ending. Because we're going to be back. We're going to be back, guys. We're going to take a couple weeks off, and then we are going to start putting together our division packages, previews, draft, all that.
We will be going until August. Trust me, dude.
It doesn't rest.
I've never been so excited about an off season.
Yeah, and your Raiders are going to be doing some stuff, so I know you're excited.
I just think this is a really great draft coming up. I know I'm looking so far ahead, but I've been going down the list. This is one of the greatest rounds 2 through 4 when it comes to just players that you're going to have on your team that can contribute that I think I've ever seen since I've started scouting, really hard. I only really start with the show, and now the draft is one of my favorite parts of the year. So there's just so much content to talk about this off season. So obviously the Super Bowl will happen. You'll probably take a couple of weeks off, and then you get right back to season and reviews, draft, and then previews for the season.
Division previews. It just doesn't end.
Man, it's packed.
One of my favorite parts of the year is our NFL draft show. That night is like Christmas. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, man.
Especially when you know about all these players, and you just kind of know how they're gonna fall. I mean, think back to what we talked about. Think back to when we talked about our top 10 draft prospects last year. I talked about guys like Braden Fisk. I mean, just seeing these guys blossom in the NFL.
Look at Verse. Unbelievable, bro. I didn't see that coming.
He was right in our top 10 of prospects.
He's a top 10. I think he's going to be that.
It was crazy. We had such a good run last year, and I feel confident again about this year. So.
Well, that's what we do, man. You know what I mean? Some people are in the bars getting drunk. Some people are at the strip club. You and I were in the pots.
I'm a little goblin, man. I'm going on my way to work. I'm listening to scouting reports from college. Dude, it's crazy, man.
I want to know where this kid went to high school. I want to know what his mom and dad do for a living, facts, dude.
Man. I'm an NFL fiend.
I'm an NFL junkie, funky too. So, you guys, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Remember what it means to enjoy the Super Bowl, and remember what it means to
Enjoy the
not
freedom to watch the Super Bowl, man, and just
yes,
eat food, dude.
eat
It's
food.
such a blessing, man. Truly.
And most importantly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this because it's always so important. Like we're just throwing a couple dollars around, man. Yes, this is a handicapping podcast, but we're not trying to see you homeless. So don't make stupid decisions that are going to make you homeless. If you're not balling like that, don't act like you're balling like that because the last thing we want to see is somebody lose their livelihood behind gambling. It's for fun. And if it's not for fun for you, go get yourself the help you need. Thank you, Spencer, as always, man. On behalf of WOM, my name is Dexter Reed. That is Spencer the Wiz. You guys enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. God bless, eat good, and go Chiefs.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to say it, good luck to the Chiefs, man. I go across boundary lines for you. I hope you appreciate it.
I appreciate that, and the one day when your time comes for the Raiders, I will do it for you in return. We'll see you
If that
guys.
ever happens, I'll be in my deathbed.
I'll be dead.
I'll look up to the heavens, dude. Maybe my kid will get to experience it if I'm lucky.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. It could happen. You never, ever know. You never know. We'll see you guys. All right, take it easy, man. God bless.